This is the third video of the series in terms of tools and equipment that I have for sale. And here is a Stumac bending iron. It's 110 volts and it's as you can see, it's in perfect condition. It's a little Stumac mini grinder, and I use it for, it's got a kind of a coarse buffing wheel on one side and a grinding wheel on the other. And I use this for sharpening the Stumac scraper blade, and also it's very handy for sharpening and putting new edges on chisels and other items. It's variable speed, so it's a nice little grinder. It's pretty much new. Also, I have a whole tub full of little clamps that I use for clamping on the linings in the ukuleles, and there's a whole tub of them here, which is enough to do all the linings, putting them right next to each other. Also in this set is a tub of pumice stone. It's 4F grade, which is the fine, and a package of Super Blonde Tiger Flakes, the Super Blonde Shellac Flakes. Also, here's an inspection light, which is very handy for when you're putting this inside the body of the instrument, and you can plug it in. So if you need to do repairs on the inside, or you're putting in you know, a pickup or something like that, this is essential for that type of work. I also have a homemade thickness gauge with a micrometer on one side, and you can just put this over and it'll tell you within a thousandth of an inch the thickness of your back or your top or any other instrument, any other piece of wood or whatever material you want to put in there. Here's a brand new tube of fish glue and a brand new tub of hide glue granules from Stumac. I also have 4 sets of Grover tuning machines here. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of these Grover tuning machines for solid head ukuleles. This is a set of jigs that I use for cutting the dovetails for attaching the necks onto the bodies. So this one here is the one that cuts the dovetail into the body, the female portion of the dovetail, and this is the other portion that cuts the male portion on the neck. And the reason they have this is so that you can clamp them on and you run your router in. Also included is this router bit that's got a bearing on it, so that when you have this clamped on, the router goes through like this, and the bearing rides on that to cut your dovetails. This is a jig for marking the sides with the taper. So when you put the sides in the mold, you clamp this across the top, and you can run this around on top of this bar, and it'll to mark the sides where you need to trim them, so that you get the proper taper on your sides when you're going to do that. This is a piece of ebony, and this looks like pau ferro, and this is maple, the part that clamps on. This is a set of 5 Rubner single tuning machines, and the reason that there are 5 is that if you want to have a 5-string ukulele where you would, let's say, have 2 G strings, both a high and a low, you can do this. So these are for a slotted head. Here are my radius dishes that I've made myself, and they're made out of plywood, not MDF, because as I mentioned before, I don't like MDF. It outgasses. And these are absolutely perfect. And I also have the jig that I made these dishes with, and that'll go with these dishes. So if you want to make more dishes and you want to make them at different radiuses, you can. This one's a 72-inch radius, and it's made out of really heavy-duty plywood. It's an 1.5 inches thick. The 72-inch one. This one is 144 inches, 144 or 12-foot radius, and it's also an 1.5 inches thick. So these are both wonderful dishes for sanding the backs, and also for, you can put your brace on there and then run your pencil so you know the angle to plane and adjust the angle on your back braces for the ukulele. This is a Go box, and it's very heavy duty. It's got 1 1/8 thick plywood for the top and the bottom of it, and the 4 sides are 3/4 inch all thread bolts. And so when you put your radius dish in there, for example, like this, and then you'll have your piece of wood that you're going to put in there. There's a whole set of these here, which are the fiberglass rods used for doing that. And the way that works is that you just have this and you can put it up against the top, put a little bend in it, and it presses down and holds whatever it is. So you can glue braces in the middle of your piece. You don't have to worry about lots of little individual clamps. You can glue them in place with these rods. If you're gluing a top on, which is flat, you just turn this over like this, and then you have a flat surface that you can glue your back on. And these pieces hold the braces down nice and tight. Glass braces, and they're slightly different lengths because you have things that are different thicknesses that you're working on. Here are some Sipo mahogany blanks for necks, and out of these thick ones you can get 2. So you have the heel on one side and run it this way, and then the other one you run the heel the other way. So you can get 2 necks out of each one of these big blocks. This would make 1 neck. Or this could also be sawn up for tail and heel blocks. This is Sitka spruce, which is quarter sawn. And as you can see here, I can show you the end of it there. You can see that it's quarter sawn. And this is is what I saw up for braces. I have 2 Crelicum ebony fretboards and 2 other fretboards that are more of the dark black ebony, and then a piece here. And what I normally do is these could be used for fretboards, or I also saw them up to make bindings out of them. Here are 3 Indian rosewood fretboards and some other pieces of Indian rosewood that can be also used for bindings. This is a beautiful Pau Ferro fretboard. And this is another fretboard, but in addition here are 2 ebony bridge blanks. And this is a stack of different kinds of headstock veneers. So there's a rosewood headstock veneer and a couple of ebony headstock veneers. This is a piece of, this is some more, here's some more rosewood headstock veneers. This is I'm not sure what that is. I think this might be pecan. There's a piece of, there's a walnut one. And this looks like koa. That's a koa. In addition, these are pieces of walnut that would be appropriate for gluing together for probably a soprano. And these are sides that could be used for that. So this is all black walnut, claro walnut actually. This is a set of koa that would make a tenor ukulele or smaller. And so you've got 4 pieces here that are all out of the same piece of wood, so they're book matched. so that would make the top and the back, and then you have the two sides. So this is a whole set of koa, and it's got a lot of flame in it. So it's a really nice set. I keep them clamped up like this to make sure that they stay nice and flat. In addition, here are, this is enough of the cedar to make two tops. So there's two cedar tops here. Also included is a set of 3 deep clamps, and these clamps are designed to be used for gluing on the bridges. So you can adjust the height of this foot here, and so that it goes around all the internal bracing in there, so you catch the bridge plate on the bottom, and then this part presses down on the bridge. So there's 3 of these Stumac bridge clamps. These are 2 reamers that are used for adjusting the holes that you put in your headstock for your tuning machines. So there's one that's a bigger size one and one that's a smaller size one. They're also really good for installing your pickups, because when you drill a hole in the tail of the instrument, you always want to drill a smaller hole, and then it's better to ream it so that you don't have any problems with the drill causing wood to chunk out. In here I have a collection of all kinds of things. So they're everything in here from, these are saddles, and here's a package of nuts, another package of saddles. Here are some bridges that I've started making. That one's out of, I'm not sure what that is, but anyway. This one is rosewood. That one is palfero. There's another rosewood one. There's a bunch of them in here. They're all different sizes, because I like to make my own. I'm not real fond of buying them. Here's some more nuts. There's a whole bunch of nuts in there, and bridges and things. There are packages of abalone dots that are used for markers, or for on the edge of your fretboard for markers as well. There are a bunch of little packages that have buttons for the strap buttons, little felt washers that go with these. There's one that's a tortoiseshell. These are ebony. There's a bunch of them in here. There's a whole bunch of them. These are inlays, abalone inlays for fretboards, and I don't know if the camera's showing them very well, but there are whole sets of them that go for that. And just various other supplies and things that I keep in this case.